The war was over. Smoke still floated in the sky, and the ground was black with ashes. Buildings were broken, and the battlefield was silent, except for the sound of wind moving through dead metal. Sergeant Ray Carter walked slowly through the ruins. His boots crunched on burned steel and glass. He had seen many battles, but today something felt different, cold, strange, like something was watching him. He walked past a broken alien tank, then stopped. There was a noise, a weak sound. Almost like a whisper. Ray turned his head. Inside a ruined cage half covered by debris, he saw something move. He walked closer. His hand rested on his gun, just in case, and then he saw her. A girl. No, not human. Alien. She sat on the cold metal floor, chained from neck to feet. Her skin was covered in dirt and dry blood. Her long white hair was tangled, matted with mud. She was shaking, weak. And yet, her eyes were open. Big, silver, almost glowing. She looked at Ray. And then she whispered, in a broken, strange voice, "If you wash me. Clean me. I'll give you strong children, human. Double quotes. Ray blinked. He stepped back. What did you say? The girl tried to raise her head, but the chains were tight. Her voice was dry like dust. Clean me. Take the dirt away. I'll give you children, strong ones. Your blood, my power. Ray stared at her. Was she mad? Some alien ritual? Or maybe she was just broken from the war. Behind him, 2 other soldiers walked up. "Hey, Carter," one laughed. "You found a girlfriend?" "She's the last one," said the other. "They say her kind were weapons. Dangerous." Ray looked down at her again. She didn't move, but her lips still trembled, like she was trying to speak more. He turned to the others. "Has anyone talked to her?" "Nah, she doesn't speak our language. Or maybe she's too far gone." Ray knelt down slowly. "What's your name?" he asked gently. The girl didn't answer. She closed her eyes. A tear fell through the dirt on her cheek. Ray stood. "Leave her alone," he told the others. The soldiers shrugged. "Whatever, man. She's just space trash." They left. Ray stayed. He kept looking at the girl. There was something strange. Not just in her words, but in her presence. He felt a pull. Like gravity. Like she was important, but he didn't know why. He took a step closer. Then he noticed something odd on her arm. Under the dirt something glowed faintly. A symbol, like it was drawn under her skin. But only for a second. Then it vanished. Ray frowned. "What are you?" The girl opened her eyes again. "I'm the last," she said slowly. "The last womb of my kind." Ray didn't fully understand. But he felt her pain, her sadness, her fear, and something else. Hope. Small, weak, but alive. She looked up at him. "Please," she said, "don't let them kill me." Ray's radio crackled. A voice came through. "All surviving aliens are to be turned over to command for processing." He looked down at the girl. She was a prisoner. An enemy, but something inside him said, she's more. She was hiding something, and maybe she was telling the truth. That night, Ray couldn't sleep. Her words echoed in his mind. "If you wash me. I'll give you strong children. He pulled out his data tablet and searched through records. Her species was called the Liren, humanoid, rare. Most were wiped out years ago. Some believed they had ancient powers connected to light and memory. But the records were unclear. Some said the Liren were not born. They were awakened. By ritual. By cleansing. Ray stood up. He picked up a water bottle. He didn't know why. Maybe he was crazy. Maybe she was, but he had to see. He returned to the holding area, quietly. Guards were asleep. He stepped inside the cage. She didn't move. Ray sat next to her, uncapped the bottle, and poured a little water. On a cloth, he gently touched her arm. Wiped it. The dirt came off. Slowly underneath, her skin was pale gold. But more than that, it shimmered. Light moved under it. Like stars, a strange warmth filled the air. The symbol from before appeared again, this time brighter. Ray froze. The girl opened her eyes. They were glowing now. She whispered, "You've begun it, human." Ray pulled back. What did I begin? But she had already passed out again, still chained, still dirty. But now, no longer ordinary. Ray looked at his own hand. It was glowing. 2. Asterisk in the cold silence of the underground cell. The lights flickered once, twice, then steadied again. Ray Carter stood frozen. His fingers still held the cloth. The spot he wiped on the alien girl's arm was now glowing softly, like warm gold under a thin layer of glass. It didn't look like skin. It looked like energy. He reached out again, slowly, heart pounding. He wiped a little more dirt away. This time, the light spread. Faint lines appeared, curved, ancient, like writing from a lost language. They pulsed with each breath she took. Ray whispered to himself, "This isn't just an alien." The girl was still asleep. Her face looked peaceful now, not broken like before. The chains on her arms clinked quietly as she moved slightly. He stood up, took a shaky breath, and backed away. The cloth in his hand still glowed faintly. Next morning, Ray walked into the briefing room like nothing had happened, but inside, his mind was spinning. The alien girl, the light, the symbol. What was she, and what did she mean by strong children? He couldn't tell anyone. If Command found out, they'd rip her apart in some lab, study her, kill her. He kept his head down during the meeting, nodding when needed. But his thoughts stayed locked on that cage. That night, back to the cage, he returned after lights out. No one questioned him. Everyone was tired after the last battle. He brought a small bucket, a sponge, and a bottle of warm water. He didn't know why. He just knew this wasn't over. She was awake this time. When he stepped into the room, her eyes met his immediately. Still weak, but more alive than yesterday. She didn't speak. Ray knelt beside her. "I'm going to clean more of it," he said softly. No answer. Just a slow blink. He dipped the sponge and pressed it gently against her collarbone. Dirt peeled away like a soft shell. Under it, the same golden glow returned, stronger this time. The curved lines ran down her neck like veins of fire. Ray's heart raced. "Is this your true form?" he asked. The girl finally spoke. Her voice was clearer. "Now, no," she whispered. "Not yet." "She begins to change." Ray cleaned her shoulders, her arms, her hands, slowly, carefully. Wherever the dirt was removed, her body seemed to wake up. The lights inside her flowed like rivers. Symbols came alive then. She did something strange. She breathed in and the room grew warmer. The lights above hummed. Ray leaned back. "Are you doing that?" The girl looked at him, her silver eyes sharp now. "I'm remembering," she said. "Remembering what?" She tilted her head. "The stars, my name, my promise." Ray felt like the air was thicker now. Like something invisible was entering the room. He touched his chest. His heart was beating too fast. Flash glimpse. Her memory suddenly. A flash filled his mind, not from her mouth, not from her words, but from her skin. A vision, a burning world. Thousands of shining people falling into dirt. Their gold skin fading. Their chains tightening. And above them, a voice screamed, "Let them forget. Let them rot in mud." The vision ended. Ray gasped, falling backward. He looked at her. "What was that?" She closed her eyes. "You saw what they did to us. Who?" She didn't answer. "A warning, you're not just some prisoner," Ray said. "You're something ancient." The girl nodded. "I was not born. I was made. Then I was covered in dirt, covered in pain." Ray asked, "Why ask me to clean you?" She opened her eyes again. "Because humans are still clean, Still curious, still wild. She leaned closer. Her breath brushed his cheek. If you finish this, she whispered, I will be yours, and you will be mine. Ray swallowed. And the children you talked about? She looked away. They are not like human children. They are born grown, with memory, with purpose. They fight. They protect. They obey. Ray stared at her. You want to give me an army? She nodded slowly. But only if I am whole again. You must finish the cleansing. A new threat appears suddenly. Alarms rang. Ray jumped. Red light flashed in the hallway. A soldier's voice came through the speaker. Unauthorized access detected in cell block 9. That was her block. They had found him. Ray turned to her. Can you walk? She looked at the chains. Free me. Without thinking, Ray pulled out his knife and began cutting the restraints. They sparked, but the locks fell open. She stood shaky but tall. Light pulsed from her skin now, brighter than ever. She turned to him. Hide me. If they see me like this, they will try to kill us both. Ray nodded. Then let's run. Rain fell like needles from a black sky. Ray Carter drove the stolen military jeep fast through the forest. Headlights off. The only sound was the wet roar of tires over mud and the low hum of the alien girl breathing beside him. She sat silently in the passenger seat, wrapped in a soldier's coat. Her glowing skin peeked through holes in the fabric. She was calm, watching the world blur past, but Ray could feel the heat coming off her body, gentle but unnatural, like a small sun trying to wake up. They didn't speak for a long time, not until they reached the old bunker. The bunker, it was deep underground, once used during the early wars, now forgotten. Ray had found it years ago during a recon mission. No one had touched it since. He opened the rusted gate and led her down a cold staircase. Dust floated in the flashlight beam. Inside, the air was still and dead, like time had stopped. She walked slowly, touching the walls. Her fingers left glowing fingerprints wherever she touched. This place remembers, she said softly. Ray frowned. Remembers what? Blood, pain, your kind's history. The walls hold echoes. Ray didn't ask more. He just led her to the main chamber. He cleared a table, laid down blankets, brought out food and water. Then he pointed to a nearby metal sink with a water tank above it. We'll stay here for now, he said. Safe, hidden. She sat quietly. Then asked, will you clean more of me? Ray hesitated. He wasn't sure anymore if this was just a cleaning or something deeper, but he nodded. The cleansing continues. He poured warm water into a bowl. She sat on the table, letting the coat slide off her shoulders. Ray picked up the sponge and began gently wiping her back. The mud came off in slow layers. Gold light followed. The ancient symbols underneath began to shift. They weren't just marks anymore. They were moving, floating, telling stories in shapes and flashes. Ray blinked as he worked. Visions flickered across his mind. A city in the stars, a queen in white armor, child made of fire, and a war so large it made Earth's battles look like dust. Power wakes up. Suddenly, the lights in the bunker flickered. The machines in the corner, old ones, barely working, turned on by themselves. Screens blinked with strange text, symbols Ray didn't understand. The girl opened her eyes. They respond to me now. Ray stepped back. How? I was locked, she said. Dirty, sleeping. She turned toward him slowly. But now, I'm waking. She raised her arm. A holographic map appeared in the air, spinning in soft white light. This is your world, she said. But the one who dirtied me is still out there. Ray stared at the map. Who did it to you? She didn't answer, but her body shook slightly. Not from fear, but from pressure. Like power was struggling inside her skin. The connection grows. That night, Ray couldn't sleep. The girl sat across the room, cross-legged, eyes closed. Glowing lines now ran up her spine and down her arms like sacred armor. He walked over to her quietly. You okay? He asked. Her eyes opened slowly. I feel more. More what? She looked at him. More of you. Ray blinked. What? Do you mean? When you touched me. You gave me memory, she said. Emotion. Your mind is open. I see it. I feel it. Ray stepped back, uncomfortable. She smiled faintly. Don't be afraid. You didn't lose anything. But you gave me a reason. A reason? To finish what I was made for. Warning from the outside. Suddenly, the old radio in the corner crackled. A human voice came through static and broken. Unauthorized personnel reported missing. Sergeant Carter. Trader status confirmed. Ray turned toward the sound, then looked at her. They're hunting us. She nodded. They fear what I'll become. Ray looked at the glowing map again. What will you become? She stood up, her body now fully covered in golden light and moving symbols. Her eyes were no longer silver. They were burning white. I don't know, she said. You're the first to clean me. So ... Maybe I will become what you are. Ray stared at her in silence. He didn't know what she meant, but deep down, a strange thought came to him. What if she wasn't given to him by fate? What if he was made for her? Asterisk. The bunker walls hummed with energy. Ray Carter sat on the floor, staring at the alien girl as she stood barefoot on the steel surface, glowing brighter than ever. The dirt was gone now. All of it. Her skin looked like warm crystal, alive with shifting golden lines that moved like liquid circuits. And finally, she spoke without fear, without whispers, without hiding. My name is Nari. I am the last daughter of the Liren. Ray stood slowly. Liren, he repeated. She nodded. You call us aliens, monsters, but long before your kind learned fire we were stars. The real story begins. She touched the metal wall beside her. Instantly, golden patterns lit up across it. The air changed. And then Ray saw something impossible. A full memory projection, not a hologram, something deeper. It felt like standing inside her past. The room shifted. The bunker vanished. Now he stood in a great hall made of white stone and light. Tall beings stood in armor made of sky and flame. The Liren. Beautiful, powerful, peaceful. At the center stood a queen. She looked just like Nyari but older, wiser, wounded. Nyari's voice echoed in the vision. We were not gods. We were balance. Our bodies carried energy. Our minds carried memory. We did not die. We passed into the next shape. Then the light turned dark. Black ships fell from the sky. Screams, fire, chains. A name carved itself into the wall. Drexoth. The name that shouldn't be said. Ray whispered it. Drexoth. Nyari's voice turned cold. Do not speak it lightly. Why? Ray asked. Because they're listening, always. The memory faded. The bunker returned. Nyari turned to him. Her eyes now burned like stars. They came from another system. Not made of blood and bone. Made of void, shadows. They hate life. They hate light. They chained my people. And covered us in dirt. She stepped toward Ray. And now, they want Earth too. The children, explained. Ray asked the question he'd been holding since the beginning. The children. The ones you said you'd give me. What are they really? Nyari didn't smile. She didn't flirt. She only answered, clearly and completely. They are born from energy and will. My body produces living memory. Your human DNA brings chaos, freedom. Together, we create warriors, not babies. Beings built for war, your fire, my light. Ray stepped back, breathing heavy. You're saying, I'd be the father of a species? Yes, she said, and they would follow you, learn from you. Fight for you. You gave me purpose, I give you legacy. Ray stared at her. Why me? She looked at him, her voice softer now. Because you didn't laugh when I begged. Number. More silence. Suddenly, the radio sparked again. This time, a different voice came through. It was not human. Low, echoed, wrong. She is awake, the last womb. The dirty one. Bring her back or we come. Nyari walked over and smashed the radio with one glowing hand. Ray stared. That was them, wasn't it? She nodded. They found us, but how? She looked up, because I said their name. And now, there is no more silence. The transformation Ray looked at her glowing skin, at the pulsing lights running under her collarbone, down her arms. You're still changing, he said. She nodded. I was only half-born before. Dirt was sealing my core. But you helped me become full. Are you a weapon now? He asked. No, she said. I am a queen. She stepped toward him again. And this time, she took his hand. You must decide, she said. Stay hidden and die with the others. Or help me bring light back to the stars. The decision Ray's mind spun. The enemy was real. Their name had power. The girl was no longer weak. No longer dirty. She was a key to something massive. And somehow he had become part of it. He looked at her. You want me to lead them? The children? Nyari's eyes glowed. I want you to teach them what it means to be human. To fight not just with strength but with heart. Ray took a deep breath. Then he nodded. Then let's begin. The sky broke open at midnight, not with thunder. Not with rain. But with fire. A black ship, silent, smooth, and shaped like a knife, descended from the clouds above the forest. Its surface swallowed light. No windows, no sound. Only darkness. And purpose. Inside the hidden bunker, Nyari opened her eyes. They're here. No time left. Ray dropped the tools in his hands. How did they find us so fast? Nyari stood calmly, already glowing like a star inside the dark room. You said their name. I remembered mine. Now the silence is gone. We can't hide anymore. Alarms in the bunker screamed. Old lights blinked red. Doors started to seal. Ray ran to the control panel. They've locked us in. The system is shutting down. Nyari stepped forward, barefoot, golden light pulsing under her skin. No, they are shutting it down. The Drexeth. They control machines. Minds fear. Ray looked at her. Then what do we do? She raised her hand. We run. The walls break. Before Ray could ask how, the wall behind them exploded, inward shards of metal flying in all directions. A black drone slithered through the hole, floating above the ground. No face, just a long narrow head with a burning red slit across its surface. It spoke without sound. Ray's ears rang. A voice entered his mind. Return the womb. Return the breeder. Return the traitor. Nyari stepped between Ray and the drone. She didn't shout. She didn't attack. She whispered one word. No. The drone stopped. It shook. Then burst into a million black pieces like shattered glass. The escape begins. Ray grabbed the backpack, slammed open the emergency door, and led her into the underground tunnel. It stretched for miles under the forest made for wartime retreats. Now it was their only hope. Nyari walked behind him, her light guiding the path. How far does this go? She asked. Ray replied, all the way to an old launch site. But it's not powered anymore. Nyari smiled. It will be. They are hunted behind them. The ground trembled. The Drexeth had sent more than drones this time. Shadows moved in the tunnel. Not walking. Not crawling. Sliding. Creatures made of smoke and teeth. Tall, thin, with limbs that bent the wrong way. Their eyes glowed blue but dead, like drowned stars. Ray turned and fired. Bullets passed through them. They're not solid. He yelled. They're memories, Nyari said, of death. Ray shouted. Then how do we kill memories? Nyari raised both hands. Her body glowed so bright the tunnel turned gold. We rewrite them. A wave of light shot from her chest, slamming into the shadows. The creatures screamed as if their existence was being erased. Then silence. The launch. Sight they reached the end of the tunnel. An old steel door, rusted, locked. Ray stepped back. I can't open this. Nyari placed her hand on the door. It melted like wax. On the other side was a massive hangar, ancient, abandoned. Inside it sat a launchcraft, old, damaged, but still intact. Nyari looked at it and smiled. This was built with stolen Liren tech, she said. They tried to copy us, but your kind forgot the soul. She stepped inside the ship. And it lit up. NYI awakens inside the cockpit. Golden symbols danced across the glass. The engines rumbled to life for the first time in decades. Ray sat beside her, strapping in. Where are we going? To the high orbit, she said. There is a Liren beacon hidden above your planet. If I connect to it, I can awaken what's left of my kind. Ray looked outside. The ground shook again. More Drexeth ships were landing. They were out of time. Lift off. Hold on. Nyari said. She placed her hand on the ship's core. The entire craft hummed. Then boom. The floor cracked. Fire exploded below. The ship launched upward like a bullet through the Earth's crust, tearing through metal, dirt, and night. In seconds, they left the trees behind. The Drexeth screamed from the ground, but could not follow. Ray stared out the window as the Earth curved below them. We made it, he breathed. Nyari did not answer. Her eyes were closed. Her body shook. What's wrong? He asked. She whispered. They are calling me again. But now I remember who I am. As the ship broke into orbit, Nyari turned to Ray and said clearly, I was never just a womb. I was a weapon of memory, a queen of lost light, and now, with you, I will be reborn. Ray looked at her. She was no longer dirty, no longer prisoner. Now, she was glowing so bright he had to squint to see her. He took her hand again, and together, they flew toward the stars. Asterisk. The ship drifted in silence above Earth. No gravity. No sound. Only stars blinking in the black. Ray sat still in the co-pilot seat, staring at the woman beside him. Nyari, no longer weak, no longer chained, was now surrounded by light. But not just light, she was changing, and she couldn't stop it. Final signal. Nyari touched the control panel. Golden waves pulsed through the screen, not just sending data, but singing. A deep, ancient hum spread across orbit, calling out into space. Ray asked, What are you doing? Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned with pain. Activating the beacon. The last Liren code, but to do it, I must finish the cleansing, all of it. No dirt. No shadow, no fear. He looked at her. You're already glowing like a sun. She shook her head. This body is only a shell. The real cleansing happens inside. The ritual begins. She stood up and removed the robe she had wrapped around herself. Beneath it, her body looked like crystal fire, shifting gold, white, and violet light beneath a smooth surface. Then she turned to him. I need you. Ray blinked. For what? She stepped forward. To complete it. The cleansing is not just washing away dirt. It is trust. Surrender, merging. I can't finish it without you. He hesitated. I placed his hand over her heart. I don't want your body, she said. I want your memory, your soul. Give me the part of you that doubts, fears, hates. Let me burn it. The chamber of light she led into the center of the ship, a circular room now glowing with rotating Liren symbols. The walls whispered in languages Ray didn't understand, but somehow felt deep in his blood. Nyari stood in the center, her hands raised. Ray walked into the light. It hit him instantly. A wave of heat, then cold, then everything. Memories, regrets, his first kill, his mother's death. The things he hid, even from himself. He dropped to his knees. I can't do this, he gasped. You must, Nyari said. Or I stay broken, and you stay alone. She reached out. He took her hand. And then everything changed. The fusion, Chamber exploded in light. Ray saw her memories. He stood in her past. He watched the burning of the Liren. He felt the screams of her sisters. He watched her, chained by the Drexith, forced to forget her name, her power, her worth. He screamed her pain as his own. And she saw him, the young boy who grew up during Earth's war, the soldier they used. The killer they praised, the man who always wanted peace, but never believed he deserved it. They stood together in light, and then they became one, the new form when the chamber dimmed. Ray and Nyari still stood, but they were no longer separate. Light ran through his veins now, symbols flowed under his skin. Her eyes, once gold, now matched his. They had merged, not as lovers, not as warriors, but as a new being. The gift Nyari stepped back, breathing deeply. Her voice was stronger now. No echo, no hesitation. The ritual is complete. Ray felt different. Not stronger, not faster. Clearer. Like for the first time in his life, everything made sense. She stepped closer and placed a hand over his stomach. There, she whispered. Do you feel it? He closed his eyes. And then he felt it. Heartbeat. Not his, not hers. Something new. The first child. It's already begun. Nyari said. Ray looked at her, stunned. Inside me, she said. Memory and will have already formed. The first one. A child of fusion, of peace and war. Light and fire. Ray was silent, but he wasn't afraid. Will it be like us? Nyari shook her head. No, it will be better. And many will follow. She looked toward the stars. But they will need a home. They are not alone. Suddenly, alarms blared. A massive Drexith ship dropped from hyperspace above them. Ray ran to the window. A giant black vessel, shaped like a jagged mouth, floated above Earth's orbit. Nyar. I didn't flinch. They're here, Ray said. Again. She turned toward the child growing inside her, not of flesh, but of energy and code. She smiled. Let them come. They didn't come quietly. The Drexith arrived like a black storm, tearing the sky with jagged ships, hungry and hollow, their engines streaming across Earth's upper orbit. The biggest vessel, shaped like a broken crown, opened its core and launched a signal across the stars. It was not a message. It was a declaration. The womb has been touched. The clean one must be destroyed. Inside the Liren ship, Nyari stood still. Her body pulsed with power. Her hands no longer glowed. They burned. Pure white fire flowed under her skin, through her arms, down into the ship's command crystal. Ray stood beside her, no longer fully human. Symbols of gold shimmered under his veins. His eyes reflected starlight, and inside Nyari's belly, or what used to be one, something beat, not like a human child. Not slow, soft, fragile. No. This heartbeat shook metal. The first one is born. Ray turned as a sphere of golden light rose from the ship's center. It floated upward, spun slowly, and then split open like a blooming star. A figure stepped out. Not baby, not machine, not alien, a warrior. 7 feet tall, genderless, armored in living light. Its face bore no eyes, no mouth, only a glowing crest across the forehead, shaped like both a flame and a wing. Ray stared. That's our child, Nyari nodded. One of many. They come in fire. More orbs of light formed, 10, 20, then 30, rising from the ritual chamber, each spinning, cracking, opening. The ship filled with them. Children of fusion. Children of war. Their bodies were born ready, armed with memory, trained through light, programmed with purpose. One by one, they knelt before Ray and Nyari. The firstborn spoke in a deep, beautiful voice. Command us, Father. We are ready. Ray couldn't speak at first. Then, quietly, protect Earth. Destroy the Drexith. No mercy. The battle begins outside. The black ships moved in. Energy cannons charged. Ray and Nyari's ship trembled as the first shot tore through its wing. Before it hit again, the children moved. They didn't need air. They didn't need ships. They flew straight from the Liren vessel, breaking through the hull like meteors made of light. Some carried swords formed from Nyari's own symbols. Others shot beams of white plasma from their palms. They moved. Faster than sound, they tore through the Drexith like light burning through paper. One child screamed, and 5 enemy ships imploded. Ray joins the war race suited up, not in armor, in memory. His mind now linked to every child, every movement, every strike. When he thought defend Earth's orbit, they moved. When he whispered protect civilians, they spread into atmosphere, forming a shield of light around the planet. He didn't need orders. He was the order. Nyari's final strike on the bridge. Nyari rose into the air. She was glowing brighter than a sun, the largest Drexith. Ship opened its core weapon, a planet cracker aimed at Earth. Too big. Too fast. No time. But Nyari didn't blink. She flew out of the ship alone, surrounded by rings of golden memory. Her voice thundered into space. I was born dirty, broken, hunted. You tried to erase me. Now I erase you. She struck. Not with a weapon, but with her full, awakened body. The impact blinded space. When the light cleared, the Drexith ship was gone, not destroyed. Unwritten. As if it had never existed. The end of one era. The remaining enemy forces tried to retreat. The children didn't let them. One by one, the Drexith ships fell. One by one, the stars grew quiet. And then, it was over. The beginning of another ray floated above Earth, surrounded by his children. Not born of flesh, but of memory. And will. He turned to Nari, who hovered beside him. You okay? She smiled. I am more than okay. I am clean. I am whole. What now? He asked. She looked down at the planet below. Blue, quiet, still alive. We rebuild, she said. Not just cities, meaning. The message to the galaxy. 3 days later, the children sent out a signal, not to threaten, not to conquer. To announce. We are the children of fire. Born of human courage and Liren light, we do not serve. We protect. If you bring chains, we will break them. If you bring dirt, we will wash it away. The age of silence is over. On Earth, people looked to the sky. Some called it magic. Some called it madness. But most just whispered one word: hope. High above them, in the stars, a new family stood together, not broken, not forgotten, not hiding anymore, but shining. Forever.